think one of the toughest things that I had to do was surrender my title as the IC1. Hearing IC1 and knowing they weren't talking to me, they were talking to you. You're going to do great. Thank you. Being in the military, you have this thing, the best way I could describe it is instantaneous brotherhood. Like John said, you meet somebody and you automatically know that they got your back, that you're in this together, that you're more than shipmates, that you're friends, you're brothers, brother in arms, brothers in uniform, brothers in experiences, just brothers. I love being a mentor, and the reason that that role means so much to me is because of two of my mentors that are here today. Retired Senior Chief JAQ Hill and Master Chief Patrick Scott. Would you please stand? Thank you. Senior Chief Hill, JAQ. You taught me to enjoy the experience, to always have my eyes set on self-improvement. And he challenged me. He drove me insane. I always thought that he wanted perfection, but all he wanted was the perfect effort. So thank you, JAQ. Master Chief Scott. Master Chief made sure that I understood that being a leader means that you have to be a follower. You have to be a servant. When you're in a position of authority, a position of supervising, you have to let your people know that you are there for them, not the other way around. Thank you for always being there for me, Matt. I appreciate it. When I first joined the Navy, I shocked a lot of people in my life, including myself. At the time, I was floundering, trying to find my way. I was at a real crossroads in my life, and honestly, the military wasn't on my short list of options. However, I knew my family had a proud history of military service, and I decided that that would be also my path. It just felt right. Like in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8, and I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and whom will go for us?" And then I said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Being in the military isn't easy. You sacrifice. You put yourself and your family and your friends second. Your country and your duty become first. It's not an easy cross to bear. Less than 0.5% of the American population is active duty military. And of that 0.5%, only about 17% make the military a career and retire honorably. So to simply say that I served in the military is an incredible badge of honor that I wear. But to say I'm a retired veteran is really hard to believe. My job is tough, but it's also been rewarding and fulfilling. I've worked 20-hour days. I've worked in the freezing cold, the blazing sun, and the pouring rain. I've traveled all over the world. I've been on safari in South Africa, in the presence of the Pope at the Vatican, seen the mosque of Istanbul and the neon lights of Hong Kong. I've been baptized in the Jordan River and had countless other experiences. All of these things I've done while being a proud ambassador of my country and a dedicated sentry, whose sole focus was to secure the peace and freedom that my loved ones enjoyed at home. And I'm not the hero. I wear the uniform. The true heroes of my 20 years of service are my wife Lisette and my son Xavier. They have weathered so many storms and challenges while I have been away answering the call of our country. It seems like every time I went out to sea, some series of challenges would hit home. Each time, my wife and my son would grit their teeth and do what they had to do, because that's what heroes do. Attack the problem, conquer the hardship, and move on without fanfare or recognition. With my import duty days, my days of being on exercise, drills, and deployments, I've spent almost 8.5 years away from home. Thank you, Lisette and Xavier. I love you, and I salute you for your service to our country. I also want to thank my mother and father. My mother, my loving angel, has always been my lighthouse. No matter what stormy situation I was in, I knew that her advice and love would guide me home. She was so happy about the opportunities that the Navy gave me to see the world. I was fulfilling a dream she had for me, to see the world. My father, he is my keel. He is the strength and solid support of who I am and what I am. I am built on him. He's the tempered steel of model and a model of excellence that I strive to be. I remember my 2012 deployment. I had just moved back from Chicago to Virginia. That's what we do in the military, we move. My ship was already deployed, and I would be flown out to meet it at an overseas port. I really wasn't sure when I would be leaving. I got the call, in true Navy fashion, "Hey, IC-1, we leave tomorrow." I rushed to Xavier's school to pick him up so we could spend some time together. As we walked to the car, I told him, I put my arm around him and said, "Hey buddy, I have to leave tomorrow. I'm flying out to meet my ship." My voice was shaking, but I was smiling through it, trying to be strong for both of us. Xavier said, "Good, you're ugly anyway." Then the tears streamed down his face and he broke down in the parking lot. I hugged him and did my best to comfort him. We were a seasoned Navy family by that time, but the pain and anxiety and sadness of me being deployed was always difficult to bear. Xavier, you're a man. Thank you. When I joined the Navy, I was already 23, so I was always a little older than most of my peers and subordinates. More often than not, I assumed the role of big brother, the voice of reason, the counselor, the mentor. I enjoyed this role. It was fulfilling and challenging. As they enjoyed their individual successes, I felt proud to know that in some small way, I played a role in them being better technicians, better sailors, and more importantly, better men and women. Because my bond with my seamen was different, because they were mine. Being an IC means being a part of a sacred fraternity, a family. Being an IC meant that you were a link in an unbreakable chain. We are a band of brothers, baptized in the sweltering heat of the engineering department, the secret labyrinth of combat systems, and the organized chaos of air department. We handle it all. There was never a time when I was having trouble with a technical problem or trying to decipher some administrative task that I couldn't reach out and contact the IC Mafia. The response was always the same, a flood of support, usually from ICs that I didn't even know. When I transferred off the USS Theodore Roosevelt, my shop, EE-12, gave me a going-away present. There was a plaque on it. Unfortunately, that present was lost in a fire. But the plaque read, "Thank you for everything you have done for us. We're going to miss you, but we know it's time for you to move on. We will be left with tears and happy memories, and most importantly, with life lessons. As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You taught us to believe in ourselves and to make the most of every situation. Along with being an excellent mentor, you bestowed encouragement, wisdom, friendship in all of us. Your physical being will be gone, but the IC-1 will never be forgotten." I wrestled back and forth with a decision about putting something in my speech, but right now I feel it's important for me to mention it. Christian Chin, the other Jamal Justice, David Frugeau. You guys are going to be amazing. Brandon Bixler, you're the future of the Navy. Thank you guys for keeping me humble, keeping me focused, and making me love my job. I've never been a Navy cheerleader. I've never encouraged anyone to stay in. I think all of our lives are too dynamic to ever understand what goes on in each decision a person makes to stay in, re-enlist, or to make the Navy a career. But I do tell my peers and subordinates that they have a responsibility, a duty to themselves and their families to maximize their opportunities while they're in. Make a goal, achieve it, and then start working on another goal. I just want to give you one more dose of old man sage advice. Don't be satisfied. Stay hungry. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. Something else I always enjoyed was being a mentor in conflict resolution, dealing with problems. My father doesn't know this, but I stole something from him in a conversation that we had years ago. He may remember it, he may not. He was talking to me about conflict resolution, and he was talking about an orange. And the story goes, a father walks in, you remember? A father walks in, and his son and daughter are fighting over this orange. And so the father says, whoa, don't fight over an orange, I'll take care of this. So he slices the orange in half. He didn't solve the problem. The daughter wanted the whole orange peel for orange zest for a recipe. The son wanted the whole orange for fresh squeezed orange juice. So if you're going to solve a problem, understand that problem. See, I was listening. I got it. My career and the pride I feel as a veteran, and Mr. Hines stole this from me, but it's important enough to be read twice, can be summed up by our 35th president, President John F. Kennedy, who said, "I can imagine no more rewarding a career